So it was time for an upgrade. To the right is our brand new Ryobi 40 volt self-propelled 21-inch 3-in-1. Now they have another model out there that's more expensive, and it actually has two blades and it's cross-cut. But this is a single blade, and we purchased this yesterday, so this is a new purchase as of September of 2021. And the new one is model RY401014. I'll put that in the description. And shown next to it is the older one. This is a model RY40107. And this one I purchased, I want to say it was in 2006 or 2007. This one, prior to this, we had an old Black & Decker. It was rechargeable, but it was plug-in. You had to actually recharge the unit itself. It didn't have a removable battery. After that one, just couldn't hack our yard, and that's the size of the yard. This is our main part of the yard. We have a little bit out behind the trailer, just a little bit up on the driveway, a little bit in front of the cars. And then if we choose to, we have another whole path down there with a little logging area, but we don't always do that. Our regular lawn is here, and this is probably grass-wise, it's probably just over half an acre. Very uneven ground, very rough, a lot of mixed-in weeds, and some areas that the grass just grows really thick. So we had tried getting a couple of used mowers, gas mowers, and we just had problems with them. You know, problems with the carburetor, mostly quality of the gas. So here's one of the other differences. This Ryobi that I bought, the package at Home Depot, came with two 6-amp-hour batteries and a fast charger, which I'll show you in a minute. And I paid I think about $469 for this one new, and that included two of these batteries with the charger. And as you can see, these batteries are much larger than the old style Ryobi batteries, the old 94 watt-hour. You know, it's all 18 volt. It'll run. You know, this will run on these batteries, but you have more power and more time. That's the big thing. So the feature with the old Ryobi is you have one place to plug in your battery, and you can carry a spare over here. Similar idea with this new one. You have two slots, put the battery in. The difference is both of them can be plugged in. It only runs one battery at a time, but instead of pulling the battery out and changing it, you can just pull the key out and change directions. And whichever way that white arrow is pointing, that's the battery that's in use. Overall, the unit sits a little higher in profile, has the LED lights that are always on. The wheels are actually slightly higher on the old model, just a little bit. But the new one is self-propelled. And it actually has bearings inside where the wheels connect to, as opposed to the old style. You see they just pop in the metal sleeve through the wheel there. You know, just a washer cap on there. There might be a cheap bearing in there, but there is definitely a difference in quality. Still mostly plastic. This one's just a lot firmer. You see the size of the arms here compared to this, you know, thick. It's still hollow, but you know, you can also fold this one down for storage, but you have the wire there on the outside that I've already had to re-zip tie. With this one, it's one touch on the handle to bring it down, and then the same thing to bring it back up. And there's just two slots here for height, so slight difference with that, but a couple of safety features. There's other people talking about videos. I just want to do a side-by-side comparison, and I'll do quick shot of mowing too to compare. Other major thing is this was a 20-inch cutting width, this is a 21, and this is 3-in-1, whereas the old one was 2. You had 2 choices. You could mulch it, or you could connect a bagger on the back. The new one, actually, you can do side discharge as well. There's a chute that connects in there, or you could do the bagger, or of course you can mulch it. And that was a big feature with this one. I like being able to side discharge, because with the weather, you know, sometimes the grass gets out of control and it can just be too much to mulch all at once. Unfortunately, with the old one, you cannot fit these new big batteries in there. They're just too thick for that unit. However, you can fit the thicker batteries if you have other tools like your trimmer, because it's all about the slot. So it fits in the slot. I also tested it with my newer leaf blower, same thing. It'll fit because it just goes in the slot. There's no restriction with the height. So, something I want to point out about the fast charger. It does have a fan in there, and it whines pretty loud. In the manual it says you'll hear a slight hum. So I'm not sure if this is what they consider a slight hum, or if there's a problem with this unit. It just sounds like kind of like a cheap build. But right now I'm charging up on here one of the 4 amp hour batteries that I got with my string trimmer or my leaf blower, I can't remember which. And I'm using my other traditional charger here for the other 4 amp hour battery, because I want to put the same fully charged battery in each machine and do a comparison in some higher grass, tougher type grass, you know, show one and then show the other. I'll leave them both on the mulching, so it's a fair comparison. All right, so we got the batteries are charged up, and for comparison's sake, I'm using not the 6 amp hour batteries that came with that, because they won't fit in this, but I am using the 4 amp hour battery. Both of these are fully charged. Just took them off the charger. By the way, the fast charger that comes with this mower and these 6 amp hour batteries takes around about half an hour, give or take, to charge up the 4 amp hour battery. And also I set the deck at the same height. I measured it. It's about 2 inches for each one. They are both set for mulching. I would have done the side discharge if I had the option with this one, but I don't. And this is what we're going to be cutting. One thing I always hate about people that put out with videos for their mowing, oh, look at this, look how long I go, but they don't show just how tall the grass is. We have some ones here that are, you know, over a foot long. And we also have this stuff here, which is just almost 5 inches. And what this stuff is, it's some kind of ground cover. Kind of reminds me of like a parsley. The stems aren't too tough, but as you can see, it grows pretty thick. So when I'm looking for a mower review, I want to know just how thick are you cutting it, right? How long is the grass? How thick is it? You know, you get these videos and people are showing a video from far away and they're going through a field and it looks like, you know, I don't know if it's grass out Midwest or whatever, but it looks like it's already only an inch tall. So all right, what I'm going to do is same for each mower. I'm just going to film with the GoPro from back here. I'm going to start it up and I'm going to go a length up to the fence, and I'll go back with the GoPro to see what the grass looks like, and I'll come back if need be, and then I'll do the same thing with the new Ryobi. All right, so starting it up. There we go. Straight path up to the fence. did not seem to get the engine up to its higher limit, but one thing I've always noticed with this mower is the way the deck is situated for the wheels. You make a pass and the wheels push down grass, and then it won't come back up when you go over, because the the deck extends. Even though it comes up to here, the blade is in further, by another inch or so. So it's kind of like the inside of those wheels. But here's the middle of it. Oh, and I sharpened the blade on my older mower here just before this test also. So you still have a lot of bent over. And again, I know this is longer grass. This is not an ideal condition. Here's some of this stuff here. And this is what the path looks like over here. Some of the heads, just got chopped off a little bit. The taller bits of grass, some of the stuff that was older growth, it kind of got off the more tender part, but left some of it. So this is why with this mower, every time I've had to use it to mow, I usually have to, at least come back where I mowed, and sometimes even go and do a second cut straight, forward and back again. So that's what I'm going to do, just to see how it looks after backing up. So, coming back through, it did lift up some of it, backing it up, pulled it back and gave it a little bit more of a cut. Still not an even cut, but again, it's longer. The blade is sharp, so it should be doing a fairly good cut. And of course, you don't get up at the front because the front tires extend far ahead of the machine, but, just comparison to what's next to it, it did cut it. I had to go, with it back. And I am looking and noticing a lot of strings on the grass. Just for comparison's sake, I'll go back, forward, and back again, see if it looks any cleaner. Yeah, that passed. Now it looks, what for me at least would be, acceptable for mowing my lawn when, it's gotten to the point where it's a little overgrown. A little bit cleaner. So 2 passes front and back. So for the new Ryobi, all you need to do is you need to pull back the bar and just click the button. It is definitely louder. And it does seem to take a little less time to shut off, just a slight delay. All right, so this is just one time forward. And already I'm noticing this is that thicker grass, and you look, there's really no string. Yeah, you got a couple bent over, but most of it was cut, even this thicker stuff here. This parsley type stuff, nice clean cuts off the edge. And overall, just on the first pass, there's not a lot of stuff bent over. Yeah, there is where the wheels went. But, I did side-by-side comparison here, and I purposely left that spot in the middle so you can kind of see, right at ground level, how thick it is that the mower's getting into and what it left. And I believe when I measure with the tape measure, both of these are about 2 inches up off the ground. So I don't even feel like I need to go backwards over this, but just because of where it is, I will. And then I'm just going to go into this thick stuff here that's like up over a foot. And I'll just carry the GoPro and just show you, and you can listen to the mower. I don't think I've heard this thing, you know, kick into its high setting at all yet, but let me just finish up this small area with it, and just so you can see. Again, this is on the mulching setting, and I'm going to try to just do one pass to cut, unless I just need to back up to maneuver. Operating the mower with one hand, not on the power assist. Look at that. This stuff was even taller than a foot. This is, we used to have goats here, so this is hay type grass growing up in here. And this is on the mulching section. And it barely even blinked to cut through that heavy stuff. So my vote is, this Ryobi is not only a much needed improvement, but it is gas equivalent. It is like gas type power without having all the hassles of a gas. So while I loved my old Ryobi, it definitely served a purpose for me and helped me out here. The technology just keeps improving over the years. This can't even fit the larger batteries, and this does have one of the newer type batteries, the 4 amp hour battery. This one came with, I think it was a 45 kilowatt or a watt hour battery, I think it was, which is, you know, not even that was just what they came out with. And then they had the thicker pack, and then they came out with these, you know, much better. This has the 6 amp hour battery. I've heard that you can get a 7.5 amp hour battery. We did run this yesterday with the 6 amp hour battery after starting with the 4. My wife said she noticed more power. I didn't, but obviously there's a much longer run time. And the great thing about the Ryobi batteries, these new generation ones, is that it runs full power until it's out, and then it stops. It doesn't just get weaker and weaker. So, you know, we did this whole yard yesterday, with the exception of a couple small spots. And I left this spot just to do the testing. But, you know, the proof is in the pudding. This is like the worst my yard gets. And, you know, between the weather and when we can get out here, my riding mower wasn't working, so I needed a solution. And I was almost ready to go and buy a gas-powered mower for about $100 less, I think was the good one that I looked at. So yeah, this was a little bit more expensive, but I never have to buy gas. I never have to change the oil. And another benefit for living out here in the woods is this is all sealed up pretty good. With all of my gas equipment, mice get into it, no matter where I park it, no matter what I do. My riding mower almost caught on fire because there was a mouse nest underneath the exhaust. These things are sealed up really good, so I just store them inside over the winter, and, you know, of course, all year round inside. But you know, the mice don't get in them. They haven't destroyed it. This thing, you know, it looks, you know, well, you really aren't supposed to wash these off. So yeah, it's a little dirty, but it still starts up every time it runs for me. It's just the performance is, you know, there was always a little bit. If I had to mow my lawn with this and the grass was like this, I would have to take my time and go back and forth, maybe lift the mower up and drop down on it and go back and forth. It would take longer. It would still do the job. But with this one, it's like one pass and it does it. And this is on the mulching. I was using the side discharge yesterday, and we were going through the yard nice and quick. So if you have an older electric mower and you've been thinking about maybe you should upgrade, I recommend it. I'm very happy with this. This is gonna, you know, keep me going between this and my riding mower for some of the further distance away, or if I just don't feel like pushing it. But this has gas power, and I could have one battery charging and another one going. And because I already have two 4 amp hour batteries, I can go all the time. I can have something charging. I can have 2 on here. I can mow my whole yard. So I highly recommend it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the description or in the comments down below the video. But I looked around to see if anybody had compared, if they had the same situation. They had an old one and they were thinking about upgrading, and I couldn't find it. And I you know, made a good bet on this one. I'm very happy with it, and I'm going to have this thing for, you know, probably for the rest of my life. And it's, you know, I may still get a riding mower, you know, an upgraded riding mower, just because I'm not getting any younger. But this is always going to be great for getting in, you know, underneath shrubs and trees and some of those harder to reach areas. But I know if I need to, I can mow this whole yard and I can keep going. I won't run out of gas. I'll just keep a battery charging and I'm good to go. So again, I highly recommend this model. The model numbers will be in the description, and thank you for your time.